I'm going to 100% Kirby Star Allies. Along with the story mode, I must collect every rare picture piece, find all the big switches, play the minigames, and beat the extra modes at a soul-melting difficulty. In a world far from planet Popstar, a mysterious priest breaks the seal of a dark crystal heart, shattering its pieces across the galaxy. One crashes into King Dedede's quarters, where upon inspection, it corrupts his soul. What'd I miss? What'd I miss? An evil cloud over the castle? I'm coming, your highness! Oh no, a poppy, bro! Good thing I have the master sword. Kirby? What are you doing? Hold on a second. Kirby has this heart that forces his enemies to become his friends against their will? That breaks all consensual laws. Therefore, I find the defendant guilty.
Objection!
Kirby was acting in self-defense. Fine, I'll allow it. You gotta admit, though, that is kind of creepy. There's gotta be some form of consent since the Waddle Dees don't fall for it. Fine. You won't join me?
Then you will die.
Light up my sword now, will you, buddy? Since the Waddle Dees continue to not conform, Kirby straight up lights a bomb fuse, committing genocide on the innocent.
You're a monster!
Kirby celebrates by bouncing on a trampoline. On to the next one. Let's make friends with this eel and go over our lineup.
I got 5 pieces of candy. I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock.
Don't be a downer, buddy. When you combine it with ice, you become a curling stone. You know, that sport you only see at the Olympics. Anyways, its horizontal slide does come in handy for the wall stumps. Towards the end of the level, I find this big switch. No, not that kind of switch. It's a button. It opens up a path to the Dream Palace. Stored inside is a Dream Rod, a magical tool that can summon a dream friend. In this case, Bandana Waddle Dee. His spears make him a helpful ally, but it's unfortunate I can't play as him since I'm doing single player. I still have quite a few copy abilities to experience, such as the Yo-Yo, aka Ness. It even comes with smash attacks. How do you make something already cool even cooler? Just add fire. Every non-elemental weapon pretty much can get an add-on like this to solve the facile puzzles. We're then given our first trial that requires teamwork to unlock paths for each other, but they're still of the really simple nature. Oh man, it's rootin' and tootin' time. Yeehaw! A rolling ball of Waddle Dees? Is that all you got? Ah! Ah! Actually, it's nothing to fear. I'm outrunning it by walking. Anyways, I found another one of those big buttons, but unlike the last one, this one unlocked an extra stage. And I'm gonna have to find its unique picture piece for completion. This is the first level where I actually had to try it again to find the hidden collectible. In this case, I first had to find a key which led to this secret room where the jigsaw was hidden. With that, we can move on to get the dream friends Rick, Kine, and Koo. Turns out you can reuse the Dream Palace every time you beat a level. Rick, Kine, and Koo are a blast of nostalgia from the past back in my Game Boy days. They take turns depending on the terrain, but I never saw Kine throughout this whole stage. For now, though, it's time for our first boss battle, Wispy Woods. Okay, are these boss battles even fair with 4 of us smacking at the tree? Halfway through, by the power of dark magic, he supersizes himself and still loses. The dark heart leaves the tree's soul, then flies off. Before taking on the world's final level, I get a new dream friend, Marks? Isn't this guy like super freaking evil? I'll give you one chance, but you're off the squad if there's any funny business. But for now, give me your powers.
Matt Hardy, it's all... Push Matt right to the table!
If you hold up while wielding this ability, one of your friends will leap onto your hand, making it a friend throw.
I fight for my friends.
Later, we find King Dedede devouring a pile of spoiled-looking food, then turns to us, initiating a fight. At first, everything went as expected as we ganged up on him, but then... What just happened? Give me some of that dark magic. I want to be ripped too. Not only is he muscular, he's also an excellent acrobatic. Just look at that form. It's still 4 versus 1 though, thus we stop his madness. The group dances, then credits? Remember to like and subscribe. Of course, it's not the end. That was kind of a failed attempt to psych us out. To the outer rims of our planet we go. A new dream friend, that being Gooey, and now I'm a Disney princess.
Cinderella, Cinderella.
By the way, why in the world is a cat using me as a mop for my dash attack? Things are getting ridiculous. Oh, that's not all. I can vacuum up my friends, then blast them into multiple directions. Uh-oh, it's happening! Marx is betraying us!
Oh, that was weird.
Back to my broom. When you attack in the air with it, it just creeps me out. Can we please get back to some normal gameplay? You know, strangely enough, this is probably the most normal thing that has happened in this stage. When beaten, another level is unlocked, and so is this world's dream palace, where we can now recruit the king. Hey, what happened to your swole body?
Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I'm on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician.
Get out of here! There continues to be more fuses to light, but this one is drenched in water. That's where Plankton's chumbrella comes in.
Under my
Speaking of water, this is the first level featuring an underwater section. Man, Kirby, those goggles, you're adorable. Upon surfacing, another big switch is found, which means another extra stage. I grabbed my artist friend from the good old Nintendo 64 games, then swallowed a spider. You ever got Gordos in your way? Try making a web trampoline. For some unknown reason, it lets you jump right through them, and the abilities don't stop coming. Whenever he sucks up a bomber, Kirby goes ham. By the way, there is an uncomfortable amount of kissing in this game. Whenever anyone consumes a healing item, they share that HP by kissing. I let it slide, Kirby, when you force these people to become your friends, not friends with benefits. Well, the lovey-dovey crap is over because it's time to get super dark and edgy with our next stream friend, Dark Meta Knight. With the newly attained mic ability, we start our new band, Fatal Chorus. Going on tour brought us so close together that we learned how to construct a bridge built solely on friendship. There you safely go, Mr. Keyholder, and welcome new dream friend, DeRoach. Watch out, my new mouse friend. There's a bird. After saving the rodent, I swallowed the fowl, giving me the wing ability. And I gotta say, this was a fun way to navigate my way throughout the stage, especially like this one with a lot of it being open. And it gives quite the upgrade to the ninja ability, enabling the use of ninja stars and a quick strike attack.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
The rest is typical, finding the big switch and picture piece. But then something new happened as I entered the new extra level. Game Boy music! So many fond memories of playing Kirby's Dream Land 2 on road trips. Anyways, there's also this festival ability you can get here. You ever think 2 mini bosses are too much to handle? Well, no, I don't think anyone thinks that. But through the power of dancing, you can kill both of them at the same time with just one button press.
And once Pete saved the whole galaxy with dancing, for real.
This game may not be the hardest, but man, the spectacles from the presentation never run dry. What was a platformer now just converted into a shmup. Soaring, flying through the air, gunning down enemies, and blasting through obstacles. Then we transition to our next boss battle with Meta Knight. I draw my sword as it appears he has been corrupted in a similar vein to King DDD. After some hacking and slashing, Meta Knight takes to the skies, so I spam uppercut slashes. The downside of that was I was taking too much damage being up close to him too often. I changed my plans, floated away, and my friends took care of the rest. Once his mind was free from the darkness, I mind controlled him myself, forcing him to dance with us. Stop! What are you doing to me? I can't control myself! Please stop it! After saving Meta Knight, some kind of fortress crash lands onto planet Popstar. Magalore, come check out this place with us. It's called Jam Bastion, a fortress of shadows. Let's dive in. Our first encounter there is a magical being that gives me power similar to Ness. And I can teleport. The magic doesn't end there. You're a wizard, Kirby. An electric wizard. We get to the gate bar, then blockaded by the furry critters, Pawn and Con. This layout is giving me some Mario Bros. Arcade vibes. Very simple boss battle. I constantly used PK Cross as they stupidly ran left to right and right to left. Upon defeat, they open the gate, we hop to the other side, and discover new minions.
This one gang kept wanting me to join because I'm pretty good with the bow staff.
Pole vault Olympics, here I come. It's also at this level where I acquire my favorite ability in this game, the Beetle. You can stab multiple enemies, turning them into a shish kebab, and you can fly. Oh yeah, you can throw your friends too. Unfortunately, I must try other combos to progress the story, and can't forget to inspect every opening for picture pieces. Speaking of the story, we finally run into one of the villains who shares part of their master plan. Her name is Francisca, one of the 3 generals of magic. She explains that the dark hearts we've been seeing are called Jamba hearts. Once collected, they'll summon an evil being. Them's fighting words. Francisca starts by swinging her axe while we bombard her with attacks. Except for Plug. He's not doing anything. The battle continues with her magically throwing crystals at us and dousing us with a super soaker. She's down! Everyone get her!
Come on, man!
Francisca retreats. Now that we've seen a good chunk of this fortress, we delve in further with standard procedures. Taranza joins as a dream friend who helps out by summoning evil bugs. We then collect keys to make it through this stage. Press the big button, yada yada yada, recruit Susie, keep going, and... all aboard! They called this the friend train, but I prefer the hype train. We even got the loop-de-loops from Sonic's World. Alright, how are we doing so far? I forgot a picture piece at the King's Castle. During the backtracking, Susie got a chance to show off her robo-suit. Then I picked up Meta Knight and chucked him till he bounced into the obstacle, hiding the missing piece. Now, where were we? That's right. The Inner Sanctum, where the second General of Magic awaits us. Flameburge. And she's ticked off that we harmed her sister. Like her sibling, she begins with waving around her sword. Then she takes a page from the Beatles' Powers book, stabbing us downward with a blade, making us part of her kebab meal. In the end, though, she was easier than her sister. However, Flameburge did take the Jamba Heart before running off. For the last extra stage of this world, we combined the powers of water and electricity to zap our foes with Thunder Splash, which somehow also destroyed electrified spinning blades. Anyhow, let's introduce ourselves to the last general, Zan Partizan. How in the world was I going to best this one? By doing this. This is all I did. I set up a tent and camped out here the entire time. Do you surrender? This place is gonna blow! Quick, make a friend circle. By the way, I have 70 lives. Am I ever going to need those? I spoke too soon. Let's not forget to hold down the jump button this time, Andrew. To reach the exit, we make a warp star getaway, snatch the picture piece right before it fell out of existence, and skyrocketed to where we could view the rest of the galaxy. Here we planet hop to different levels that resemble the ones we've already beaten, just with a slight bump in difficulty. For example, this may seem to be like the Wispy Woods boss we've done before, except this time after you beat him, you must face the Elder Tree, Iggy Woods. He'll get right back at you with Kirby's own move, the Suck. The water planet highlighted another friend bridge and, well, more water. Then, of course, you have the extra stages in the form of their own planets. The neat thing about this one is you have to navigate between 3 different realities, which each vary by their time of day. Things somewhat go back to normal when returning to the main levels, where we meet Pawn and Con again, except this time they're in their gold and silver forms, along with having 5 stories of bridges compared to when they previously only had 3. They also recruited some munchkins to help them out, but they still lost. Next level had the exit right at the beginning, but in order to open the path to it, you had to clear 5 different red star rooms, which each had their own mini-boss, starring Mr. Freeze, Caesar from Planet of the Apes, Benihana's chef, Adeline understudy, and a Beetleborg. Then it was off to the moon, Grot Moon, where there resided a fierce knight with bombs as their fists. Bombs! Since we're on a warp star, she'll probably try to strike us down by aiming upwards. Or not. I'll just cut your fuse if you're gonna be that stupid. Now burn her up, Leo. Wait a minute. A baby Humpty Dumpty?
But I was always there.
actually really want to see that new Puss in Boots movie. The reviews for it are off the charts. For now, I had to redo the stage due to missing this little passageway for a picture piece. Then I trekked over to the wintry wonderland of planet Frostak. With the combined powers of ice and the cutter, you get a boomerang that can not only withstand harsh winds, but also ricochets off of walls. I pounce the big switch right after, clear the corresponding extra planet, then begin a series of rematching the Mage Sisters. Francisca attempts to charge up a new attack, but we don't give her the chance. Her water gun aiming also shifts slightly while spouting, and she slides her axe across the ground. PK Cross! She's defeated once again. Over on the next planet, the squad ascends a tower which can crush you if you don't climb fast enough. As you can see, my allies did not make it.
Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead.
At this planet's moon, we face Krako, the spiky, angry eye cloud. He does what you typically expect a cloud would do, like causing thunder. When beaten, all of us just stand there stupidly as Krako multiplies himself into two beings. As they pour rain upon us, my Waddle Dee friend keeps us safe with his chumbrella. We endure their onslaught of attacks and retaliate when we can, leading to our victory. We come across some lava planets, which have some volcanic ceilings, but I had nothing to worry about as I played it safe with the water ability constantly spitting at the ground while taking out minions in the process. On the nearby moon, the second sister, Flameburge, challenges us to a rematch. She has upgraded her sword to shoot out fire attacks just by swinging her blade. Similar to the previous sister, Flameburge also drags her weapon across the ground with added effects from her signature element. Things get explosive with her fire cannon, but we all simply just float above it. 2 down, 1 to go. Having completed all the objectives in this world, the Jambandra base defenses falter. Inside, I find a secret area above the golden door, where I discover a room dedicated to the developers. This is only one of the 3 rooms like this in the game. As we near the end, a slew of power-ups become available to us, foreshadowing our re-encounter with the third Mage Sister. I take the yo-yo, tag and fire, find the knight, and go marvel with the spider. We enter the final chambers where a priest-like figure is stirring up a ritual with the Jamba hearts. Our attempt to stop them is thwarted as the last Mage Sister, Zan Partizan, holds us off. She stirs up a cloud that strikes with 2 bolts of lightning at a time as she moves across the screen. I was able to get past that, but for some reason, I didn't see her conspicuously charging a massive beam of electricity in my direction. She continued to zap across the screen, but she was once again bested. Help, Highness. You seem to be in my way. Frustrated that we disturbed the revival ceremony of his Dark Lord, Highness yells out many no's and rumbles on for a bit how we've delayed the inevitable. In battle, he floats around while casting predictable spells. After getting smacked around by us, Highness gets serious. Or should I say crazy, showing us his beady eyes, then turns the mage generals into magical statue-like weapons. Tossing each of them flares the ground with their corresponding elements. He could also use them to make their own version of the friend wheel. By the way, I made the wrong choice with the yo-yo. It's hard to connect attacks with a boss that likes to float around or roll towards you, meaning I'd have to take a hit in order to hit them myself. When finished rolling around, Highness sniped me down with one of the sisters. Before taking another go at it, I retooled my kit with a more versatile copy, the staff ability. Ah yeah, this is going much better than last time. In the air and on the ground, Highness then cowers behind the Mage Sisters, with the occasional throwing of shadow balls. You can try, but that won't stop my jabs. Worried that he has failed the Dark Lord, Highness limps over to the Jamba Heart. Out of ideas, he attempts to speed up the ritual by sacrificing the generals of magic and even himself. With the Jamba Heart now complete, the Jambandra begins to crumble. Kirby and friends finally make a reference to the title of the game by forming the Star Allies Sparkler. Together, we fly on over to where the darkness went. The cloudiness expands, then unveils its true form. Void Termina, Destroyer of Worlds. This is it. This is the final battle of the main story. Void Termina pounds his fist into the pavement, creating shockwaves. Replacing the usual health bar are 5 weak points on 5 different areas of his body. The chest, the right and left shoulders, and when one showed up on his back, Void Termina unsheathed his ice swords, which I navigated past by going straight at him to get to the other side. The last weak spot appeared on his forehead, where I continued to do the usual shooting him down while at the same time dodging his icy projectiles. Once I break all 5 of them, the giant falls and so does the mask, opening the way to his insides. In there, we find his
Nucleus.
I guess that got too personal for him because we get spit out along with his followers. And would you look at that, Void's got a 3rd phase, taking to the skies. We pretty much have to do what we did before. The main differences include him now shooting arrows, dropping spears, smashing us, jumping over his wings to nail him where it hurts, and tons of energy beams, cause it's the final boss. Sure, it's epic, but we're able to shoot him down again and re-enter his body. As I stab his new form with my pogo stick, he uses some kind of power to turn my allies against me. It breaks my heart to strike down my own friends, but it must be done. I revive them as fast as I can, then get back into the fray with them. Void webs out his goo, then bounces around in small ball form and his big ball form. With only a quarter of his HP left, he opens his eyes, shifting into one last form. At different angles, the mighty being tries to kill us with the firing of his laser. To no success though, since we bring down the dark entity. This thing won't give up! My only way out of this is through the power of mashing buttons and the twirling of the joystick. Kamehameha!
On your left.
Oh, my friends, you came!
That's what she said.
The galaxy is saved. Let's head home, my friends, who I mind-controlled against their will. With the story mode finished, all the remaining modes are now unlocked. I want to try out the minigames first, though, starting with Chop Champs on the hardest difficulty. Now, you technically only need to get 3rd place to attain 100%, but that's lame. 1st place is the only option for a true Kirby gamer. For this minigame, you chop the wood and avoid worms and Gordos. I don't have any tips, so you're just gonna have to get good if you want to do this too. Sadly, the only other game is Star Slam Heroes. You charge up your swing by pressing A, you hit the meteor by pressing A, you watch how far you smacked it by not pressing A, and that's it. What else would you want to know? On to Guest Star Allies Go, the mode where you don't play as Kirby. Well, I gotta go with my favorite one then, the Beetle. This is basically just a condensed version of the story mode with a timer added to record your personal best. Since I'm the Beetle, I can breeze through most of these levels just by flying over everything. There are power-ups that increase attack, health, and speed, which can quicken the process too. However, nothing will top the style of the Beetle's friend throw. After going through a plethora of stages that felt like reruns, I stumbled my way back to the end where I thwarted His Highness's plans once again. But what awaited me was a different final boss. Galactonite? Yeah, he wishes, because a butterfly is going to steal his thunder. Morphonite. Unlike the other bosses who either sport a larger physique or float in the air, Morphonite's tiny body likes to sit in the corner, which nullifies the effectiveness of my friend throws. So I changed my strategy to spamming my up air attacks while he hauled his big sword around. And if beneath him wasn't safe enough, I flew over him, then used my down air spike attack. Rinsed and repeated until victory was mine. And that's Guest Star mode. Upon beating it the first time, all the Dream Friends were unlocked for future playthroughs, but one Dream Friend still seemed unavailable. So I checked out the main menu and noticed that the 3 modes I just did have gold hearts, probably signifying their completion, but story mode didn't have it. That's because 2 new planets were added, Ability Planet and an Extra Planet. The former being a hub containing all the copy abilities for your choosing, along with rooms that offer meaningless rewards. Then there's the Extra Stage, which features a number of rooms that highlight the multiplayer functionality. Honestly, these kind of designs look like they'd be a lot of fun to do with my kids once they're old enough, but for now, I'm just getting through it. No way! A Game Boy throwback? I take it back. This makes it all worth it. To cap it off, a We Love Kirby statue emerges, fulfilling what was left in story mode. Now for the real kicker. The ultimate choice. A boss rush mode with varying difficulties. I could show you how easy Sizzling Threat was, or what a cakewalk the Infernal Crisis is, but I'll skip to what literally broke me. Soul Melter. I'm not kidding. This entire game has been Kirby intensities of easy. Then this comes along and makes me want to cry. Here's my story. First of all, I can finally play as Dream Friends, so of course I gotta go with Dark Meta Knight, purely off of those sick looks alone. Then I picked some others to tag along. I didn't fully understand Dark Meta Knight's controls. I just knew that he was the coolest. I spammed his Dark Mirror attack a lot, which summoned copies around himself, solely because of it being a safe move, spacing far enough from the enemy while dealing some damage. Then there was Chef Kawasaki. For some bosses, the up air attack came in handy, and I would always let my allies take the fall first since I could revive them back to life, but they could not do the same for me. The gauntlet continued with some fights only lasting a few seconds, even more so when I've already had rematches with them before. Some were still tricky as they always were, especially when I tried to revive allies. The biggest problem with my first few attempts was how I managed my health. Sure, I could beat any of the first 14 bosses no matter what because I could just run away as my teammates did everything, but those early waves would consume my food before taking on the final baddie, who I was definitely gonna need a full health bar for. Void Termina's moves upgraded in ways that spawned more attacks, making it near impossible to dodge all of them consistently. This is where I would constantly lose. Looking back on it, this was more annoying than it was tough, because just to face this blasted menace, you would have to go through 30 minutes of boss battles just to take a jab at him again, leaving little room for practice unless you want to waste your life. Difficult or not, I spent over 4 hours trying to figure out how to beat this because of that terrible repetitiveness, while only getting to take on the finale only a handful of times. With that frustration bottled up, I had to give it one more go. Fortunately, I learned the ways of Dark Meta Knight during those failed attempts. For example, to better preserve HP, I would use Dark Meta Knight's shield to block obstacles or projectiles from the opponent. Meta Knight did lack recovery, which is why I put 2 Kawasaki's on the team who would occasionally stir up something for us. Whenever I did need to partake of food in the waiting room, I would be sure to kiss each of my boys to share that yummy goodness. Some of the tactics were just simply about positioning myself better to avoid the threats. Some of the strategy was as simple as taking advantage of the opponent when they were charging up an attack, and I actually started using some of Dark Meta Knight's other moves. Very well executed too, I may add. With these newly acquired skills, I could start the finale at full health. This didn't guarantee anything though, since I had lost before even with an advantage like this. The first 2 phases were nearly painless since they were the most predictable. It was Void's 3rd form and beyond when things got crazy. He seemed faster, stronger, and the arsenal was less avoidable. I didn't give up though, and I pressed on. Mistakes were still made, but I had over 50% HP going into the final act. Things got rough when Void mind controlled my friends, making it tough to avoid the shockwaves and to revive my allies. I temporarily killed my comrades when I had the chance, then miraculously healed them just in time for a meal and an onslaught of Void's tentacles. That timing could not have been better. I then got careless as Void caught me standing in the water, proceeding to electrify me. I attacked every chance I got, but kept getting caught in the crossfire. I just wanted this to end. I wanted the pain gone, but my foolishness, oh my foolishness. Right after that, I saw an opening beneath Void. I took the opportunity, spammed the dark mirror, and went at him like my firstborn child's life was on the line. I did it. I finally did it. And that's how I 100%ed Kirby Star Allies. Stay tuned for the sequel. Please support the channel by becoming a patron where you can see your name in the credits here. You all have a good one. Thanks.